Sure. All right, here we go.
Right.
Sekou, lead us in with your intro to your Twitch channel.
So I'm testing out the new Veo 3, the video creation tool from Google. I decided to put a quick little prompt in there and see what happens. Let's see. I'm gonna create a video of people breakdance fighting. See how that goes.
Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go.
The legs.
Here, pause.
Okay, let's go.
One thing I did realize with the video models, a lot of the video models, they would not produce violence. So I tried to create a video of the 100 men versus one gorilla, and it just shows them like kind of running past each other. It won't at this stage right now. It won't create violence, and that's what I realized.
Not yet.
So just like even right there with that example, he's kicking over her head, but you hear the connect, and then she falls, but it's not showing the actual, connect.
I wonder if they follow the same rules as comic books, where people can't hurt each other, but
pew pow.
If you're a zombie, he definitely can hurt you. If you're a ninja, we can't see your face. They also can hurt you too.
That's why Daredevil can just take out the hand.
Yeah, you can take out the hand
right through the hand. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I tried to create the video of the 100 men versus one gorilla, and it's at best it showed them like pushing it, but it wouldn't do anything past that.
Well, we gotta wait for Grok to release it then. Grok to release their.
Grok is not going to care at all.
They are not going to care.
Boy. They're going to like, oh, you want violence?
We'll give you some violence. Let me tell you about violence. It's telling people. It's been telling people a lot of unsolicited info recently.
Let me recreate an iteration of the Capitol. Anyway, so Sekou, you went on vacation, man, did you?
Oh yeah. Went on vacation. Me and my wife, we celebrated our 6th year of marriage.
Hey.
Yes. We had a good old time down in good old Monterey Bay. Yeah.
We all walk together through neighborhoods, just be like.
We're in California. You can't do that everywhere. So
have her throw up one. Have you throw up the other one.
There you go. That's hilarious. But we ended up hitting up Carmel. Actually, we did 2 things interesting. We went to Carmel, where they have a beach that is completely 100% off-leash beach. It's a white sand beach. So you bring your dog out there, you take him off leash, and there's just dogs running around having a good old time. It's nuts. It's crazy. That's crazy. But we also
got a Dalmatian out there? What?
Oh, there were a lot of dogs.
I haven't seen a Dalmatian in a minute. I didn't even know they still existed.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Thought Corella got them all.
Right.
I saw there are a lot of Labradoodles, a lot of Dalmatians. Mostly this actually. I saw a lot of Labradoodles. There were more. I kept thinking I was seeing the same Labradoodle, but it was different ones. They keep getting brown. You only can have a brown Labradoodle apparently in Carmel. So, yeah.
that old chestnut Labradoodle. What are you feeding your dog? Because your dog feel like he just is so much bigger. And I just saw your dog.
Yeah, I'm just feeding him not raw. There's something in between raw and kibble that we got put on to that he seems to like. He does not like, at least the kibble that we had. He was like, no.
Like the French food, like the French pet.
It's not fresh. It's like, how do you call it? But it's not like a circle. It's like almost like I don't know, a small, super small Reese's cup is the size of it. It's like those little mini Reese's cups. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
So with that, I've decided that I have the Candy Corso, which is much larger.
That is much larger than most dogs.
And
Larger than me. Your dog is taller than me. For sure.
And he eats a lot and everything. So I shot the TikTok, saw a few TikTok videos, particularly people who have large dogs. They started making their own dog food, everything, and so they will get like ground turkey, because a different ground turkey, different versions of it. And so I'm going to try that and everything, because when I first got them, I had them on raw, and raw can be expensive, and so I had them on raw, and I was feeding them like 2 or 3 times a day or something like that for raw, and I took them to the vet, and the vet was like, he said, hey, how often are you feeding him? Like 2 or 3 times a day. He's like, yeah, you're gonna ramp that up. He's kind of undersized right now. I was like, okay, well, give me an example. He said with him probably 5 to 7 times. So I was like, well, there goes raw.
Yeah.
There goes raw and everything. And so now I have a system where I let him eat at will. I don't try to control that stuff anymore. So.
Okay, just let him kind of go to town, just fill it up. When it goes low, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
I got a question. So
it.
y'all grew up? Did you grow up with dogs?
I did not.
Yeah.
It's my first dog ever. Yeah.
So we had dogs growing up, and so did like my family, like extended family, like uncles and stuff like that. What did you feed your? What did your?
Oh, boy.
You know where I'm going with this. What did you feed your dog? Because it was like, number one, whatever we ate. Number two, regular kibbles and bits. Like regular old kibbles and bits. And maybe at the end of it, like when I was, this is approaching the year 2000, we maybe upgraded to like a science diet or something, a blue, something blue ribbon out. That's the chicken.
Yeah.
blue buffalo. We upgraded to that, but before that was like mac and cheese, whatever.
So my grandmother, she had a dog called Blackie, and it was I don't even remember the breed of the dog or anything, but literally scraps is what the dog would eat. Whatever was left over from neck bone, to meatloaf. Whatever was left over, they would throw it in the back for Blackie. And I swear that dog lived. That dog had to be alive for like 12 years or something like that. And so, it was definitely no special diet, anything like that.
None of that. Yeah, I think that hit like the 2000s down here when people were like, "Oh no, we do, origin bits or whatever for the dog." Not conflict free, organic meals for dogs and things like that. That's all. That was a new thing. I remember when that debuted here. I think we got it in the West Coast.
I think. Let me see, because this could be a sensitive area to certain groups. I don't know. I still see my dog as a dog, though.
Are you a dog? Are you a dog person or a person with a dog?
I'm a person with a dog.
Yeah,
I'm a person with a dog. I see my dog. I admire and I like other dogs, but I really focusing in on a very, very few breeds. And Candy Corsos is one of those breeds. So like what you just mentioned, like a Dalmatian, you're like, oh, cool, that's nice, and I just move on. Like it's like, all right, there's nothing there and everything. Golden Retriever, like, oh, airbred, okay, cool, and I move on. I think there's nothing there. Everything. But like Candy Corsos and certain other dogs I focus in, just because of like their history and their power and things they have like that. But I also see him still as a dog. There's, I don't know. It's hard for me to see, and some people do this, the dog as a child.
Yeah.
And there's people, who do that, and each his own.
Right, I was right here. I was like that until I watched the Rottweiler for 2 years. So a dog sat a dog for 2 years, and he was so powerful, so big that I could not. I had to treat him like a dog. Like there had to be a separation. There is no like, oh, we're just cool. I've had dogs where I've been cool with. I just talk regular language. This one needed commands. This one was, you needed to really control this. He's a great dog. He's a great dog, but I had to become the authority.
So what's the same thing? There's people been around me, and they're like, "Why are you so strict with my dog's name is Adonis? Why are you so strict with Adonis?" I'm like, "Do you know what Candy Corsos are?"
Yeah.
Why not? But he's just so cute. He's just so cute.
Yeah.
They have the bite strength of a teenage lion. One wrong situation, now they're in jail. And also too, they were bred as military dogs.
Yeah.
They were bred to hunt everything. And so yes, at all times I have to have control and stuff of them, because I know one wrong situation and things can go very, very left, very, very quick.
You'd be okay with Siegfried and Roy. Like what happened to them? With that tiger. It's the same. No, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Wait. Random, because I know you watch this is super random. Is Roy now coming back to Joe Budden's podcast?
Roy and Maul? I don't think so. I saw
him talking about
a joint.
Yeah,
a joint venture or something, possibly.
So they're not joining, but they're are they partnering or coming?
There was some talk about that.
Yeah,
Joe said that he's going to have to
venture. Sorry.
Yeah, Joe said he's going to have to remove some people to make room for Rory to come back.
Well,
I'm not sure if he's like. Yeah, go ahead. I know you watch it for sure.
I watch it. He is. I think that's like he's joking, because he's always saying that like the new hosts now are Ish, Ice, and now he has Mark Lamont Hill on there. And now there's friction because you have Dr. Mark Lamont Hill with Ish and Ice. Conspiracy theorists are Ish and Ice. Doctor is the doctor. So he's bringing the facts, and they're it's kind of looking a certain way to the viewers, and then that's getting back to the hosts and everything like that. So, Joe Budden is just watching the beef kind of go by, and kind of not really stirring the pot, but he'll say things like, "Oh yeah, you guys' time here is kind of short. I'm going to bring in some new talent and things like that," and which is not cool. It's not cool. Yeah. That's how that it's not cool. But I think it's him saying that stuff like to get under their skin.
Did we ever have the conversation of how much money he made from that podcast?
We did on the side, but it's a lot.
I'm not gonna say it now, but we'll talk about it when we end show. Sorry guys, everything, but it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his clothes. He's not wearing that dirty wife beater anymore, man. He's definitely got on some Gucci slippers. What? I'm a viewer of the show.
You're not wrong. I'm just saying, wow. You're not wrong.
I'm telling you, it's come a long way. That was filmed like in the basement at first. Now it's like they're in like a high rise. They got like a skyline in the background. It was nice. It's real nice.
Yeah, it is. Everything is. What's name still part of the show? What's her name?
Ford. Melissa Ford.
Yeah, she's still there.
Yep, still there.
Yeah, was she there? I don't know. I don't watch clips. I don't actually watch the show. I watch
I watch clips. I'm the same thing. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
I watch that while I'm at work.
All right. I'm not sure if you're supposed to say that. So let's start the show. Yeah, I guess guys Guys, welcome back to AI with Friends. I am one of your hosts, man. My name is Marlon. I'm gonna let the fellas introduce themselves. Say cool, man. Talk to the people.
Hey, it's Ku, cloud engineer extraordinaire. Welcome to another show.
Award-winning.
Looking forward to this. The award-winning cloud engineer. Yes. Yeah. Welcome to the show, folks.
Cool. I'm Adrian, front-end, back-end developer, specializing in JavaScript, now Python. Welcome back to the show. Excited to talk to you guys again.
I am Marlon Avery, one of the hosts up here. Also run a company called Impact. We teach artificial intelligence to organizations, governments, institutions. And also, too, I run a company called VoicePath. We do AI voice solutions for SMBs, too, as well. And soon, never mind. All right, set ups. Man, it's been a lot of stuff going on and stuff this past week and everything. Let's dive right into it. As a matter of fact, Adrian, lead us into this conversation and stuff here, man. And our first one with our friends over at Replit.
Well, first off, I got to issue an apology. All right. And that is to what is the name of the TikTok account I got to find here. The TikTok account is named Accelerator Insider. Okay. I made a comment on our last podcast. She made a post expressing her frustrations with the Replit AI agent system. And I jumped in and, made a comment and said, hey, the problem is that maybe your approach, maybe, you didn't plan or take the appropriate maybe steps in order to get your project up and running. With these AI systems, it's tough to go in there cold. You really got to train. You got to prompt the system correctly, train it kind of in place as you're starting it. So I was making a response video to that, and as I'm making it using Replit as an example, I saw what she was talking about. I saw exactly what she was talking about.
You saw it.
Now I've made modules with Replit that I use in production environments. Not full suite applications, but pieces here and there that I've been able to incorporate. But when I was going through the video trying to make an example about how you would approach a project in Replit, it started doing the same funky things that it was doing with her. And it made me wonder what's changed. What's changed on that side? Because I know that Replit uses Anthropic as their model backend. I think they used 3.5 the last time I checked. I'm a big fan of Claude 3, or they use Claude 3.5 Sonnet. I'm a big fan of 3.7. So it was doing things that 3.7 would never do. And I was having an experience very similar to hers, where I was building the application and it would undo things that I had just done. And this is a starting off application. This is not something that, the code base had gotten so large that maybe it was hallucinating and getting confused along the way. This was something just starting out. So I got to take back what I said, because I put that up against the recent claims. Not even just recent. I mean, I think for the better part of this year, the Replit CEO has been claiming that, hey, look, we don't need developers anymore. Replit is our CTO. King Kong ain't got nothing on us. And I have to say that in using the system, I think that there are some upgrades that are definitely needed. And the first thing that I think that they need to do right off the bat, and I'm gonna leave the rest of you guys, is that they need a dedicated planning mode in the Replit agent, where it's not editing code, it's only reading your code base, and you're giving and providing insight and feedback to you without jumping in. Now, they say that, if you look at the Replit tutorial, you start with a plan, and then you will take it from there. But you need to be able to flip back into planning mode.
Yeah, go back and forth. Yeah.
You need to be able to go back. That's the advantage that Klein has on the IDE, VS Code IDE that I have, and Cursor has on the Cursor.
Yeah, Cursor has it. Windsurf has it.
Cursor has it. Windsurf has it.
Codex has it. Yeah.
Codex has it.
Yeah.
That has got to be on their list of features sooner than later, because a lot of people are going to maybe experience a similar issue to what she was experiencing. So I apologize. You were absolutely right. And, there needs to be some work done on Replit's end. So after looking at the articles, doing some research, just recent news about Replit, it really got me, the guy is, the CEO is really audacious. He's really bold in his claims that engineers will not be needed, which I know in working, just doing the demo, doing some, even cracking open some old projects that I have and seeing if I could edit those, go back into the agent, make some modifications. Because I know what I'm doing in the code base, that's the reason why it succeeded. Why the changes that I was doing succeeded. It's because I could get in there and edit the mistakes that were made.
So hold on a quick second. I want to read that too as well. The CEO of Replit, Amaj Masai, sparked controversy by predicting that within a year, businesses won't need a human software engineers, positioning Replit itself as the virtual CTO for companies. He said this claim highlights the rapid advancements of AI-powered coding platforms, which are increasingly capable of automating complex development tasks. The host will dissect the realism. It says so automating complex tasks and everything. Sekou, go ahead, jump in.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this like behind the scenes. Like if you give when you give a tool to a novice, right, you're going to be learning as they're going, right? So your ability to discern what's the right way to do things and the wrong way to do things is always going to be limited, right? You put something in the hand of an expert who's able to discern right from wrong, and not only will they, have an easier time, but they'll add improvements they actually can improve the work that's in front of them. I think the same thing with some of these tools. I think the challenging thing with Replit is they when everyone was kind of at a very similar level to them, they were definitely showing up as like a nice like hidden star behind the scenes. I think there's something else going on behind the scenes for them to like have this level of turmoil with like their tooling. Like this thing only has one function, but their product has one function to do this, right? And if it's not able to perform and you lose confidence in using it, like that's not great for a very young company like that. So I hopefully, I would actually like for them to kind of explain a little bit more and address this directly, right? And actually, like if there's like a post-mortem that they can do on this, I would love to read that. But yeah, it's interesting. I do want to say context windows are getting harder and harder to deal with as more MCPs are being introduced into models.
That's a good point.
Can you explain MCPs real quick?
Yeah, so model context protocol is a protocol that describes the interface to a tool. And a tool could be if you've used ChatGPT before, you've typed in something and it's searched the internet, that's a tool. What MCP did is it provided a common interface to make it easy for anyone to add any tool that they want into a model or into into a LLM to be able to utilize it. And what folks are doing, there are lots of great MCPs being created, but your context window grows every time you talk to it. Every time an MCP returns information back to it, even if you don't see it behind the scenes, when they do reasoning, it also grows. And once you hit the peak of your context window, you'll instantly start degrading and seeing a lot more hallucinations, error. The error rates go up through the roof, and generally the models will stop responding as well, just because they're trying to maintain the amount of like memory that they actually can use for what you're doing. So I feel like that's part of their challenge. And I know the models that have huge context windows cost a lot of money. And they're out there, but you're going to pay. And I know small companies, they're going to be struggling to the cost of the economics gets in their favor. So.
Yeah, the boldest claim was that when he said Replit is our CTO. That was one of the claims.
CTO with how much context window?
That's a good question.
Yeah, if it's doing technical writing, maybe that's his only task.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be as nice as the guys. My fellow co-hosts here, still have a professional lens to stand on, and things like that, and work for. As of today, I still work for myself. So very simply, I'm gonna call bullshit and stuff with this. Typically, I lately I haven't been doing this a lot, but I increasingly see myself doing this more just because this breeds confusion. It starts to exert unaligned expectations with today's reality, particularly for the majority, and stuff in this space. Now, I will say there's an opportunity to have Replit as a CTO if you're building like a fart app. If you're building something not complex, everything, I do believe there's room for that. Now, having Replit as a CTO for a company like Replit, I'm calling bullshit. For a company, I will, versus a tech company, everything. So I'm calling bullshit in several different ways. Everything. I'm kind of going through some things here. Everything. Seiko, you just mentioned MCP. Is the infrastructure of the foundation is the infrastructure complete of MCP, or is it still a work in progress?
It's 100% a work in progress. Authentication doesn't really exist within that world, which is a key piece of that.
Okay. What about multi-agent?
Multi-agent is still definitely a work in progress. We don't know which framework is the right framework. There's lane chain. There's things that OpenAI has put out, but there's no clear winners. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. What about tool integration? Everything along with MCP? Is there still a work in progress?
It's getting clearer, but MCP is folks are pointing toward MCP as their savior right now. But you look at the different vendors who are integrating that, it still looks kind of wildly different. You have an MCP that calls another LLM behind the scene, in addition to the LLM that you're working with, which is kind of agentic. But you have another one that's just just running a command line, and they're treated equally within this world.
Yeah. Okay. And then what about has anybody figured out the good point, the good pull out of human integration and stuff along these tasks, mopings, operations? Is that a final thing where everybody knows when to integrate human, when to not integrate, what can do at some point?
No, it's a Wild Wild West.
What the fuck are we talking about? There is no area right now where you can have an AI model as your full-time CTO and everything. I'm gonna challenge it even to say that it will still be complex and everything to do that in 18 months, because no matter I would put, you can put the best minds in AI in front of Marlon Avery, and I would challenge every single one of them to tell me exactly where we will be in 18 months. Everything. I've been into the space and everything, and I've been great at predicting things and bad at predicting when everything in this area. Everything. Somebody asks me now, Marlon, where will we be in 18 months? The God honest truth I'm going to tell you is I have no fucking clue. I have no clue.
Here.
As fast as this thing is moving, you can't predict an idea that somebody gets at 3 a.m. when they're watching Doctor Strange. You can't predict that. All of a sudden, they see he doing this. Oh,
there you go.
You go back to coding. You can't predict that. You can't tell me where we're going to be. This is basically a conversation to your customer that you want to have that's going to get frustrated that we already see with your tool because you're promising something that's not going to be there. And also, too, this is an economic conversation to your stocks and your bottom line, everything, which also, in forefront, is going to devalue because you can't stand on what you promised. What are you fucking talking about? And you're the CEO.
Yeah.
You're the person who's who's kind of like leading this area and everything. Stand on business. And then tell them what we are and stuff, where we're at and where we're getting to. You can build a much stronger customer and community if you tell them where you are and build with them. Instead of trying to say, hey, this is right now, we're just gonna be our virtual CTO for the fucking company and everything. I'm calling 100% underline, all bold, size, font 72 bullshit.
Yeah. Someone else did this too. Remember Karna? They had we're not hiring any more engineers for 2025 because AI is doing all of our work. We don't need any engineers. Like, come on, guys. Like, what do you? Now they're fighting to try to get engineers back into their company, and I'm like, what? Why? Yeah. But remember, there's a business around hype, though. There is a hype is its own thing, right?
True.
Yeah.
True. But also there's a business around being authentic.
That's true. That is true.
Being honest, being real and stuff in this area. And there's a legacy around that versus this ups and down, hype cycle and stuff that we go along, and stuff with. And so this is also too why, man, this is all right, whatever. This is also too, man, why you can put some of the best mind stuff in this AI world and put them in a room, a panel discussion with Marlon Avery. I guarantee you, I'm going to make a larger impact on the community and the audience and step runner because I'm a practitioner. I'm a builder. I'm a teacher and everything. I've been put in front of 100 different workshops where people were asking questions in phases. It was what is ChatGPT to, okay, how do I use it? Now it's at a place of how do I use it for me? It went from how do I use it now, how do I use it for me and everything and stuff that we're at. And this could lead us into our next conversation with AI models. And here's the biggest question I consistently have with the big boys. Your Googles, your OpenAIs, your Anthropics. Because the question I consistently have And this is also a part of their job as being the big boys. You're leading the charge, if you will. But my question is, who are you building for?
Mm, that's the question everyone should be asking when they're going through this, right? You know, yeah, there's a customer behind the scenes here that you're interacting with. Someone might be, putting up like the last of their startup money into your product, right? And you in betraying faith in them could actually affect their lives, stuff like that. So I think it's their livelihood. So these are things that when you're on the hype train. And I was looking at like the CEO. Not I don't want to bash the guy, right? But this does show that there's some inexperience, right? In this scenario. So I want to give him a little grace. Like, hey, maybe he's learning on the spot here, right? But what I think really needs to happen is for us to be able to like this. One of the reasons folks come here, we give you the honest conversation. We'll direct you to where you should be looking and what's real. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah.
Let me throw
I
in
don't
these
know.
notes.
Yeah, but I think you're right though. My dislike is the looseness with words without the thought of consequences.
Yeah.
Not consequences to you, but consequences to somebody else. Somebody else's livelihood.
Yeah, that was an example of consequences. She spent a lot of money, and she spent money out of her pocket to get that,
right.
Yeah, to get that done, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. It's like what's like we say too as well. It's like this is one of the reasons why we create this podcast to talk through the hype, talk through the technical jargon, talk through the complexity, and give it to you, at a much digestible standpoint, and stuff and everything. But yeah, I'll leave it at this. This is an irresponsible statement, because literally somebody could be in college right now and deciding like they've been loving coding since they was 12 years old, and now deciding that they're about to shift into a veterinarian or something like that because they're taking this person's statement as truth, or as, hey man, he's seeing the future and stuff here and stuff. Yeah. And so I still think we're going to live in a world for quite some time, particularly us as engineers. I think we're going to live in a world for quite some times where I think it's still a while away before this is a replacement technology. I think it will still be a partnering technology for quite some time.
Yeah, I think so. But right now there are no winners right now in this field right now. So especially with the agentic code creation world, everyone has one right now. OpenAI has one now that it's actually pretty good. I've used it. Who else? Anthropic's had one for a little bit at this point in time.
And that's the one I trust. Yep.
Yeah, Windsurf is out there, and it was so good that OpenAI bought Windsurf for like $3 billion or something like that. So the winners haven't been chosen just yet. So everyone I would say just wait and see. Anyone who's just trying to predict the future past 18 months is like They have no idea. They really don't. None of us do.
Yeah. None of us. None of us do. The Windsurf story is weird because they didn't do IDE. That wasn't an IDE company at first, was it? They were doing different.
It was a plugin. Then it became an IDE, which was a really good IDE. It wasn't bad. I used it for a little bit, but I think actually now Windsurf has they have a model, like a coding model now. Like it was like almost like days after OpenAI acquired them, there was like a Windsurf model that magically appeared.
So
okay,
I think also too is like one of those things is like, you know, let me ask you this: who's won cloud? Who won cloud?
Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon won cloud. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll say.
What?
Yes, they are number one. They've held on to their number one. Microsoft has leapfrogged Google, and is at a point where it could possibly compete against Amazon. So,
who won mobile?
Who won mobile? It depends on if you're thinking of dollars, I would say Apple won mobile, revenue, right? But who won as far as like most used technology? There's more Android out there around the world is Android, But as far as like actual money generated, actually, let me take a step back. Are you talking about companies or technology? Because Android is many companies. And
you explained it perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who won internet provider?
Internet provider, Comcast. Comcast is the biggest, right? Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually this. Are there use cases where it is better to use Azure over AWS? Is it better to use Android over Apple? Is there better use cases? Is it to use Google over Comcast?
Yeah, you know what? They all kind of win. There are areas that you can say that they are the leaders in an aspect of even cloud. Amazon has some things that don't exist in either of those places, and same thing on Google. There are offerings that they have that are very unique that you won't be able to find. And if you're building a business that relies on either certain certain models that they have, that would be a huge difference. And Google definitely has like some great offerings around databases and Kubernetes and stuff like that. Amazon just has they have footprint. They have unmatched footprint. If you're a global company, you will have a presence in Amazon. There's no way to survive without it.
Yeah. I think the point is that I think the consumer shouldn't be worried about like who's going to win versus figuring out which platform fits best to their use case.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. Which model? Let me say that. I'm sorry. Which model fits best to their use case and everything? And so this is why I call bullshit once again when people post in general, this is better than that. In what degree? Like, what are you talking about? And everything. If you're trying to create a data spreadsheet that exports to Google Sheets, then yes, Gemini has an advantage over something like ChatGPT. Like that. I'm not using Gemini's image model over ChatGPT or Midjourney today. Everything. This is this is a societal thing where there has to be a winner or a loser in every category. Like you can't your favorite comedian can't be Kevin Hart and Bernie Mac. No, it has to be one or the other. Everything says too. Everything. And so you can love Bernie Mac's stand up and love Kevin Hart's movie and not like whatever. It doesn't matter. It's your use case. And in this world that we're shifting to, it's going to be your model for your use case. Everything. Now you're going to have millions of different use cases of what you want to do, build, create, everything. But it's defining the use case and respectfully. Marketers are getting on my nerves in this area because simply what they're just doing is they're just going from tool to tool to tool, doing like affiliate links, not even using the tool, everything, or going deeper stuff with it, and just saying like, hey, this platform just destroyed OpenAI.
It's
just
the
like
worst. I hate that.
All these different things, and so and the majority of the world, doesn't have the depth information practitionership to understand as of yet, that what you need to find. So here's your blueprint, society. Everything. Stop looking for the best of the best of the best. There's no such thing. There's no one model that's going to be the best for everything. Everything, just like I don't want to. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Everything. There's like there shouldn't be no one political party that's going to cover all your needs. Everything. Find your use case. Everything. Build your creation, your whatever with that model. Then the next model, and the next use case, find the best. Now that's a lot of work, but that's what it's going to take. There's no anything as of right now. Everything. This is changing every 9 days. We're building along. We go with this thing. Everything. There is no magic sauce. There is no magic prompt. There is no like. This is work, and that's what's going to take.
This reminds me of. I got a story in my heart here. Well, when I was growing up, when the internet was like coming of age, right? And becoming something that consumers would, slowly get access to. It was around the time AOL was kind of a thing. I remember my dad would you would go to like local ISPs, sign up for their services, get their service, use it, try it out, and then it would be like months, almost like every other month, every 3 months, we would be changing ISPs. I'm like, man, we keep changing our email addresses. This is crazy. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, even as I get older, as things like, high-speed internet became a thing, we would have Comcast for a while, and then we would go to DSL, and we go back and forth. It would be really based off of what the deals that they would provide, how long those lock-ins they would have would last. Or we would use the fact that we're leaving one to have the other compete for business. I think we're kind of in the same mode, right? Sometimes it's not about who thinks which one is the best. It's really sometimes what are the dimensions that are important to your business? What is the most cost effective for what you need? What can get you that 80% of what you need, and be okay with 20% sacrificing 20% to get things done and not worry about all the other things, because this is going to keep changing. You're going to have to keep swapping the models that you use because new things are going to come out. But spend the time to work on agility and make sure that you know what your core dimensions are and focus on that.
This is a marathon for sure.
Mm-hmm. Hey, here's the question for you: do you think that a company like Google has the advantage here? Because, and this is something I think I asked this maybe within the first 3 episodes of this show, but does Google have an advantage because we're talking about proximity to infrastructure here? So if your model, like the example that Marlon just said, where, okay, if I need something to communicate with a spreadsheet, with a Google Sheet, I'm more apt to use Gemini for that. is at the end of the day, the winner going to be determined by the suite of tools that it has? Like, would you ever see a day where like an Anthropic model would handle a Google Sheet better than Gemini does?
I don't see that happening. It's still going to be, you might use Google for one thing, you might use Anthropic for another thing, you might use OpenAI for another. They're going to have distinct advantages that it might be different from the offering. But oddly enough, I feel like, there's a lot of money that's made in the consumer space and getting things to like individuals to do things. But the money is in, enterprises where a lot of the good, consistent money happens, right? And those sorts of folks are not going to care about any of those different things. What they care about is, how can I do integration, right? And this is maybe one area that Google might have an advantage. If Google Workspaces continues to dominate and be as good as it is, like that is an edge. Like if you're paying for the license for Google Workspace and Gemini just happens to be there as an added bonus in there, yeah, I'm gonna pay for that. And everyone's gonna pay for that little hit that extra button that's there. I think Notion is like on the same page too. That the Notion AI they have, they're like, oh yeah, this, your Notion is $20. Here, $5 more and you can have AI inside of there. Like having them together and being able to negotiate prices with them. Oh yeah, that's hard to compete with. So, but there's still Claude 4 now. Like you haven't even talked about all these new models that are appearing, but like Claude 4 is still light years away from what Google can do. Just the quality of, not what the corpus of data that they're pulling from, is what makes a difference. I still haven't figured it out. Why is Claude so good for coding work compared to Gemini, even though Gemini gets higher scores than Claude when you look at it?
So I like the way Sekou framed it, which is like the enterprise versus the consumer and everything. And I'm gonna talk about the consumer side. I think the basics of business still are intact here, which is customer profile, sales strategy, marketing, and things like that. I think they're still going to acquire the majority. In this area right now with these AI models, the majority that's leading the way is other humans talking about their favorite models. Because right now these models and these companies are not doing a great job of education on what these platforms can do and how to advance and all the different that. So basically what you're seeing is things like YouTube, you're seeing, hey, my friend said I can do this, still the human relation aspect and stuff, of this. And so, like you said, I think definitely Google has an opportunity to lead and stuff in when you talk about integration of the Google Suite tools, everything from, presentations to Gmail, stuff in an area. The interesting thing I've been seeing, particularly within these workshops, is still understanding of capabilities. And so just because Google makes an AI model that doesn't click to the majority's mind that if I want to do something in Google Sheets, I should use Gemini. It doesn't relate. Everything. It doesn't connect and stuff there. It's not until one is shown or explained and everything that what these usages can do, so then they make the connection and stuff, in there. And so I think that's an opportunity, but I also think that is it's an opportunity for somebody like Google to create more consumer acquisition. But I also think it's an opportunity for somebody like OpenAI or Anthropic to advance to as well, because I would say this: to Seiku's example of like why is Anthropic so much better at writing code than Google, your everyday person doesn't have that question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your everyday professional is not looking
Yeah.
at that. Your everyday professional is just looking at the way it responds, you know, and stuff there. And so, you know, people are still, you know, doing very, very level 1, 2 level basic prompting. And so, you know, your everyday person doesn't have that, but that's the majority, you know, stuff in that area. And so I think, you know, to your question, like, will we see a world where Anthropic is better than Google at integrating with Sheets? I would almost say it really doesn't matter, because if Anthropic is better at showing the everyday consumer what you can do, they will deal with the results of that, because they're not going to want to go to the model to figure out if it is better.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I feel the same way. It's going to be about how well you're good at communicating what the model can do, like what it is, and it can't be every keynote, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, OpenAI just announced their OpenAI University. They got the OpenAI Forum, you know, too, as well, where they're starting to show some of these things, which is a great step. Forward. I mean, they do a good job on like their YouTube videos too, as well. You know, everything. It feels like and maybe this is my fault. All the videos I see on Google side is all developer focused. It's also too because I follow all the developer Google accounts, so I haven't seen anything on the everyday consumer side of things. And I've also haven't like intentionally looked forward to as well. And so that can be on me. But yeah, I think it's just gonna come back to, you know, and I'm gonna say this too, bro. I don't care what company. I don't care if you're OpenAI. I don't care if you're Anthropic. I don't care if you're Google, bro. If I'm them, I'm still worried about Apple.
Oh yeah.
I'm still watching on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Because if they get their shit together and announce a model that lives in the Apple universe.
And these small models are getting pretty good. Like the really small ones. Actually, I think we have a segment on here that we want to talk about on that. Like,
did we cover any of the small ones on that?
We haven't actually talked about Gemma. Gemma is something that.
That's what I want. Yeah, I want to hear about that actually.
Yeah. Take us away, Sekou.
Yeah. So Google during the I/O event, they released a couple different things. Of course, they released the Gemini 2.5 Pro, which has been around on AI Studio, but it's on the Gemini app right now for folks to use. They also, at the same time, released this. It's called Gemma 4, which boosts AI capabilities for smaller devices. And there's another one called Gemma N, which is for like mobile phones and IoT devices, making it easier for developers who want to either create their own models to do learning and things like that, or to create like products that are portable, easier to do. It's a multimodal model, so it does text, video, and it does sound. And it can run on hardware all the way down to, like I say, a cell phone, up to like a consumer graphics card. So
very cool. Very cool. So if a user wants, they can use a Gemma model to run on like a Raspberry Pi. Is that what we're saying? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the Jetsons music.
I'm so excited about to get that set up. I just got it,
dude. Yeah. That's gonna be that's gonna be killer.
Yeah, it's a lot of interesting things going. Like, so I think what makes it interesting is getting this down in consumer workstations means that you can have the idea of having private LLMs is becoming more and more a reality. I think Apple Intelligence is actually kind of was a step in that direction, even though it was not like wasn't spectacular at all.
Yeah. No.
Definitely not noteworthy. But this makes it so that one, if you're learning, you want to learn how to, do fine tuning. You want to learn how to do work with MCP or develop MCP. It's a great way to do that. You can download the model and run it locally, and and benefit.
Here's a question. Do you guys see a world where, and I don't think this is going to be a large percent, but do you guys see a world where not waiting for the big companies to make an exact use case for somebody's lifestyle, where they're just gonna go ahead and download the model, get a Jetson Orion, get a Raspberry Pi, and people just start to figure out themselves for their exact use case? Do we see that type of like community growing? Because we're to have a world where people do some really dope things with Raspberry Pi. One of my favorite ones, I can't remember her name, but I was following her GitHub for a while, where she had a Raspberry Pi that had sensors on attached to Raspberry Pi that were implemented in all of her plants. And it could tell when the plants were dry. And then once it was dry, it would do a notification to like either her phone or to like the speaker in the house to say, "Hey, mommy, I'm thirsty," everything. And basically, and then she started to build like an automatic water, system and stuff like that to water the plants or anything. That was like years ago and everything. But do we see that type of community growing and stuff in this area?
Oh yeah, I think so. You go on Reddit, there's a local llama channel where folks just
love that channel.
Oh, it's great. There's so much good things happening inside of there. There's so much tinkering, so much knowledge sharing that's just going on. So like I just picked up a 5090, just the fact that I want to be able to do some more real world fine tuning on larger models without having to. This is like without being tied to waiting for a corporation to provide me access to do these type things, or wait for someone to permission me to actually do discovery, right? It's already happened. The one thing that's been like consistent with the rise of of computers is the hobbyist world has always existed. I'm sure you guys used to ever went to those. They used to have conventions that you could go to back in the late 90s, where hobbyists would just show up. They would sell parts, motherboards, monitors, EVGA monitors, and all type. I'm dating myself now, but
I would have loved to go into that. Yeah.
Oh, I used to go to one in Fort Washington and Philly. Like every other, it was like once a month they would have these different things, these different large conventions. But yeah, the hobbyist mindset is out. That is where all your graybeard Unix developers came from. I guess I'm a graybeard now, a gray goatee.
You don't have a ponytail. You're probably the only Linux developer without a ponytail, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Or did you have a ponytail? Please tell me you.
No, never. I never had a ponytail.
I was about to demand pictures.
I was like, yo. I always find out something new. Something new about Sega we didn't know.
So no ponytail. So cornrows. Cornrows. That's it.
Cornrows. Yeah.
So watch this. I'm about to double back on something that happened behind the scenes and stuff, right? Adrian and Sekou are two professional hobbyists. You know, they have segments of their hobby where they keep to themselves, and then some of those hobbies has turned into their professions, you know, too as well. We were having a discussion around things like the world of Twitch, you know, and seeing, you know, if this thing is going to stick around or is it for a right now, everything. And I voted that this world is going to stick around because of now these are the watchers of hobbyists, you know, stuff in today's world, everything. I've also been begging, imploring, I would go even as far as threatening Sekou to start a channel in his world of hobbyists because I think I'm guilty of this too. There's times when we just do and forget how interesting and cool it may be for the rest of like the world. Everything, and we're just doing everything. And so statements like, I just got a 5090, whatever, everything. And so we're just doing, you know, everything. But for the rest of the world, this thing is very, very, very interesting. You know, particularly too, as we've seen the world of like things like GPUs and graphics cards skyrocket, everything, not only with crypto, but now with gaming and now with streaming to its world, you know, as well. And so I really think, man, that the hobbyists, the nerds in their areas now have a universal platform to build an economic lifestyle that they always wanted by just doing their hobbies. And I think that's the world and stuff we live in and stuff now. And I can't wait to the day that you guys make that transition and you're doing your hobbies full time, because you're not going to hear me stop saying I told you so.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that, man.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be right too. You're gonna be right too, because I mean, I think it's the communities, like to the thing that's going to bolster and keep really even the AI world and the world of like the smaller models and things. It's going to be people that are, you know, maybe a community that develops around a certain game, you know, an online game or something, or a community about music, right, or something like that, where you can produce things that can have an independent economic impact, but that started from being inspired by a small niche community. I mean, I think that we saw that from social media.
I'll give you one right now, Adrian, in your category. Everything. Mm-hmm. I can guarantee you, at some point, if it's not on a network streaming service or anything, it will definitely be on YouTube, Twitch, or anything, whatever. I can guarantee you, promise you, somebody's going to recreate not the name, maybe not the name, but the segment of 106 in Park with AI generated music.
You know, you know, not even that. I mean, I would say create 106 in Park, but just as a curator of videos that are already out there, you know, because it is something that's maybe missing. There is no TRL, there is no anything like that, but I could see a world where there could be an AI, you know, Carson Daly, free, and forgot the other guy's name, but with the dude with the dreadlocks, which we found out was a wig.
AJ.
I don't know if you knew that. AJ. Yeah. Just found out that was a wig.
That was AI.
You know that was a wig. That was
That's the next thing. You're gonna find out that the host that you've been watching are AI. That'll be the next thing.
Oh man,
it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
We might be AI. Hey, maybe this is all a prompt.
Who knows? We saw that TikTok. Stop, man. That's scary, man. That was a good one. That video got me.
that's the world we're going to live in. I mean, that is happening sooner rather than later, and stuff. And so just the creation of one's mind that, gets catapulted in somebody's screen, and that's what it's going to be. And there's somebody's getting fucking paid a shit ton of money from that creation and everything because they're going to be able to attract a lot of viewers and everything. And that's watch this. We've seen so many times. It doesn't matter to us how dumb the product is, how dumb the service is, how dumb the show is, how dumb the podcast is, whatever it may be. If they can hold attention, valuable. And it's just that simple.
For sure.
Everything.
And one more thing I have to add too, and this is a little bit of a segue. But did you guys see the Google Beam announcement?
Oh, yes, I saw that.
So imagine in a world where this podcast here is powered by Google Beam, so it would actually appear as if we're in Miami. We're back in Miami. You know what I mean? Like that's the first thing that I thought is that there would be cameras. If there was a situation where we could have the Google Beam setup requires at least 3 cameras. It looked like two peripheral, two on the side, and one on the top of the screen.
Well, we tell them a little bit about tell them maybe how the beam works. Like it actually uses these different cameras, like 3 different cameras, to make a 3D rendering of you that gives you that spatial depth as if you're in the same room with the person when you're looking through the screen. So it looks like you can put your hand through there and shake their hand the way that it looks to you. It's crazy. I saw it when I was at Afrotech. They had it had a different name to it. I forgot what it was. It had a different name to it, but they actually had a demo of this at of Afrotech, and I remember seeing it oh, this is interesting, and I just went around went to the next party. Hold on.
I want you to skip over this. In that type of technology, where does that type of technology really skyrocket? Where?
I mean, that I would say.
I give you. Huh?
So distant learning is something I would think would be.
Well, I would say that's a subject, but I'm talking about the area. I give you a hint. There's only one of us that has one on this show.
Oh, yes.
I'm not talking about
the VR, the VR headsets. Yes, the VR headset. Yes, that. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Spatial computing. Hey man, I don't be doing this shit for fun, bro.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Wow. That's pretty good. That's really, really good. Yes, because that actually removes. Well, does it kind of remove the other side of this? Because they're kind of doing that with on the Apple Vision Pro. They have a camera that can see your eyes and can mimic a bunch of things and stuff like that. That is a crazy crossover. And of course,
bingo.
During the I/O conference, they demoed their headset, which looks just like the Vision Pro, which Apple has clearly created another category now. The spatial computing thing it is a thing. Even if someone doesn't want it, the fact that people are copycatting it makes it valid.
Is Mark Zuckerberg back crying into that pillow?
Oh, I can see an animation or a video with that soon appearing. So,
so for sure, it definitely elevates the world of spatial computing. Around 3D rendering, 3D, headsets, models, glasses, to as well. We're seeing the Meta AI glasses really take off everything to a different level, everything. And so we're starting to see that world. But this type of technology, this type of software definitely elevates it because now, FaceTime, something it's basically as FaceTime goes to a whole different level, because literally it can almost feel like that person, is in front of you, family member, friend, loved one. And then when you start to advance that past the personal life, now you're talking about a company offsite becoming virtual.
Yeah, I can see that.
Watch this. Google already does the integration of whiteboarding into.
Well, they used to.
Well, yeah.
They canceled that. I can't believe they did that.
Yeah. So those type of things, integration of whiteboarding, note taking, things like that, and everything. I can guarantee you, sooner or later, we'll see things like, a 3D representation of a company offsite.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's a lot cheaper, for the company, too, as well. They're going to tell you like, hey, make sure that you're uninterrupted for 4 hours or whatever it may be. It's like that. A lot cheaper for the company. It'd be really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm looking at, this is my first time seeing this Google XR headset here.
Yeah. The Android XR,
like,
I think it's called. Yeah.
Or Android, yeah. Steve Jobs wants to litigate this from beyond the grave, man. Like, I know he does. I know he is spinning in his grave right now, because I know that how he felt about the Android itself, and how fuming he was over that. He was furious, and looking at how closely this headset looks to the Vision Pro, I'm like, man, I know he is like.
Yeah, and the interface looks just like it too. It looks just like it. So.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Speaking of Google has announced a new premium AI subscription, around $250 a month, naming it the Ultra Plan. It aims to offer enterprise-grade AI tools to services previously out of reach for many businesses. The discussion will focus on whether the signals AI becoming commodity and what it means for small businesses and independent developers in terms of access and competitive edge. Everything. Adrian, so with you, man, what's your thoughts on this new Google Ultra Plan? What's up here?
Well, first off, I'm glad that they are lumping in other Google services with it. I like that the YouTube Premium is included, because that if you don't have YouTube Premium, it is. You spend as much time on YouTube as I do.
The people commercials, you mean?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? People have commercials?
People have commercials, man. I don't know if you knew. Yeah, but that's just. Mid rolls, post rolls, pre rolls. They're all over the place.
I refuse.
Oh my god! When I go over to my friend's house, I'm like, "You don't have premium? What is like? I gotta go.
What? I gotta watch.
I gotta
watch ads. Why would you do that?
Absolutely not. You have to log in. I gotta log in here.
Google's commercials is as bad as BET now. Like,
oh my god, yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst. So going back to it, I'm glad that they're lumping in that service with it. I feel like that is a high price point, still, and you may be able to, because I'm a hacker. Like, I like to figure out how to get as much as I can for free and to build what I can't afford, as much as possible. So when I see that price tag, I'm like, how can I get around this? It's kind of high, and I don't know if it offers just enough for me to really convert my allegiance to Anthropic for coding assistance. And if they like I said, if they lumped in YouTube TV with this, I would get it. I would be more on board. But right now it's not. The offer's it's just not sweet enough for me.
Yeah. Of course, I'm gonna try it just to see how it works.
Yeah.
I'm just sad they did not put YouTube TV in there. That's like the most expensive TV streaming service that you can get. It is the best. Like the quality is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But Like, if they put that in there, I think that would kind of tip the tides over to make it so that I would get that, because I do pay for like their the larger storage one, because it does have like a family thing kind of built in. So like my mom has, so like my mom has now, she now has access to Gemini Ultra. She doesn't even know it right now because it'll share it up to 5 people who are in your family plan. So
you're like, Mom, did you write this birthday?
Did you write this?
Wow.
I can see it. I can see it now. I can see it now. Things popping up in her Gmail asking her if she wants help writing her notes.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it. But no, I'll try it, see how it goes. You know, one thing I wanted to point out that Anthropic also has like a super high expensive version of their plan that they also released. And that was like right on the heels of OpenAI doing their ChatGPT Pro, which is, the, what was it, $150 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
200? Was it 200? Yeah, it's like, now this is the new trend. Like, I enjoyed the trend when the numbers were low, but like someone needs to start another trend of just offering the stuff for free. Like,
well, we said to use up all this while it's free. One of the mentioned when they start to roll these services out, it's like, get as much as you can eat now.
Bro, do you remember what? Oh, man, Sekou, what was when ChatGPT? I can't remember when ChatGPT launched. It was something that me and you was downloading because we swore we was going to take it away, and we was downloading something manually, and I can't remember what it was. It might have been some repos. And I don't remember, but we downloaded a few things because it was like, there's no way they're going to leave this up for free. And I can't remember. I want to say it was a few repos.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what it was.
I feel like I vaguely remember this too.
Yeah, it was something.
I know the Whisper model is still open source. That's still out there.
Yeah, that's still there.
That's still very useful. That's like the one open product that OpenAI, the name Open in their name, has created and pushed out. Other than, I think, was it GPT? Was it 3.5 ever get?
3.5 the open source.
Yeah, open source that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I plan on using Whisper over here with this Nano over here, stuff, and seeing what I can get done.
There are nicer Whisper models out there too, so people have invested in that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
I guess the free version of all this now is open source.
Yeah, you technically could just use the Gemma model too, the new Gemma model.
Yeah.
So.
Has anybody tried? And I know I probably know the answer to this and everything, and I got to get to it. Has anybody tried Llama API?
I don't have access to that yet.
I haven't tried that.
Yeah,
because they actually sent me another email reminding me that I have access now. So,
come on, come on, what are you doing?
Hey, you better use this before we take it away. They send me another email remind me that I have access to it now, and so I haven't gotten around to it yet.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Hey, Demeter, I thought you were gonna play with my frog. Remember that?
All right, here we go. Microsoft VS Code, now with integrated AI functionality, has been open source under MIT licenses, reshaping expectations for developer tools. The strategic move not only changes the competitive dynamics for developer ecosystem, but also places a pressure on proprietary AI-driven code editors. Adrian, we'll go back and start with you. Thoughts here on the big boy Microsoft open sourcing VS Code?
Love it. I love it. I was doing work a couple weeks ago with this open source application called AI Habitat, which was an application where you can have agents talk to one another. You can develop, describe the agents. They'll work together to come up with a plan. And it's open source. It's on GitHub, and I was loving it. Can't wait to get back into that. However, there was this gap where I was like, I can make this, make plugins to make this write code for me and, read files, read images, do the whole 9 yards. But I just wish that it was integrated with my IDE. I wish that I can integrate this over into VS Code so that I can, work with it there instead of my own separate chat window that uses the application. So the part of the VS, I'm sorry, you say Copilot was open source, right?
Yeah,
Code.
VS Code. VS Code. Yeah, and
VS Code itself.
It's VS Code and the edit functions that is part of like their AI-driven workflow. Like you type something and it will ask you to, do you want to edit or change something in line? It's been open source.
Gotcha. It's like completion.
Yeah, exactly. And they're also open sourcing one of their extensions, the chat function.
Mm-hmm. So. I love that. So I hate it when I start to work on something and then something else comes out and then it's like, but now I want to integrate this piece into what I was working on before. And it's kind of like back to the drawing board, back to the planning stage of, okay, let me figure out how to now put this into the pot as well. However, that is the piece of this that I'm most keenly interested in, because there are some, few, but there are some complaints that I have in my, the completion models that I use inside of VS Code. That if I was able to modify that and maybe build on top of that, I would definitely get a lot of use out of it, a lot of miles out of it, being able to customize that part of it. So I think that that's a good move. And it then puts we've talked about this before, where we talk about the value that you have as an employee to the company that you work at, so if you have your own, say, AI model that you own, you've developed and trained, if you leave, that leaves with you. Or can you lease it out to other employees to use so that they can, get their work done faster, which would lead to, increased revenue potentially, because, time is money. And going back to the Replit discussion about the kind of value of engineers over just using AI instead of needing engineers, we're just going to use AI to replace them. Moves like this make me excited because I think it tips the conversation back towards the other way of the developers really being valuable here. Because, being able to, if you have something that's able to, you can accelerate your workflow, that's going to put you, even more ahead of being replaced by a machine, in my opinion.
I think I'm gonna put my my tinfoil hat on for this one, because the Copilot chat extension, it behaves pretty much how Cursor behaves, and Windsurf, right? You can do all the ask, and you can do the ask. You can do the execute right inside of there, right? And then it has that direct integration into the IDE to like change just the right thing when it goes to do things. So does that mean it's interesting that timing happened around the same time that Windsurf got purchased by OpenAI? And that's like the core feature. That is what Cursor and Windsurf, what makes it what they are, is that ability to do that editing. And that is proprietary to those companies. That is that code that they own that they don't ship out in that extension.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Okay.
So I think this is shade. I think this open source, this is like open source shade. This is like Mark Zuckerberg level of, I'm going to make this free just to make it so make your life harder.
Yeah. We all wish we were as petty as Mark Zuckerberg.
I'll just give this away. How about that?
Yeah.
Destroy your business.
Yeah. Take my ball, I'm going home.
I think.
Yeah. Sorry. Good.
No, I agree with both of you. I think this is just like a definitely a strategic move and everything to, as we see the rise of code editors and seeing the world of, engineers becoming more efficient and everything. So in partnering so with these tools, well, this is kind of like a kink in the armor and stuff, you will, to kind of like throw in there and throw some people off or anything, or also to encourage more developers to even leave set competitors to go build their own, IDE version, and stuff like this too as well. And so, I think it's an interesting move. And then also too, it seems like a move that doesn't really like a move that financially impacts Microsoft either. So this is like one of those things like, why not?
It's Joker burning that pile of money,
I still remember the days where Microsoft would not give one single thing away for free. They would not open source anything. They would make fun of Linux for being things that kids use.
Wow, they said that? Ooh.
Oh yeah. Like it wasn't a serious enterprise server, software that used Linux back then. That's back in the Steve Ballmer days. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's like when Red Hat came out, things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. But there's something else that happened. There's some other open source news. I don't think we even plan to talk about it, but they also open source Windows subsystem for Linux, which I haven't told anyone this, but I use Windows subsystem for Linux for all my things. I don't run a standalone Linux box in my home. I haven't run a standalone Linux box in my home in the last 3 years.
I thought for sure you had a standalone Linux box in there.
Nope.
Or BOS. Nope. I was going to say maybe you got like the infrastructure code. Remember BEOS?
Oh yeah, BEOS and FreeBSD. Yeah.
FreeBSD. That's what I thought you brought.
I definitely. So with my setup that I have at home here, like a long time ago, I converted my Linux server into my game server that just runs off of Windows subsystems for Linux. And I hook in my physical hard drives virtually into my virtual machine to keep everything consistent, running ZFS in the background. That's like my world is it's extra nerdy inside of my little gaming box in ways that I don't even talk about that much. But the fact that they open source this is it's just this is a new Microsoft. And they've was Satya on the helm of that is it's been amazing over there. You would think I work for them, but they're doing great things. I feel like I'm just benefiting from it. So
yeah. He had a really great podcast interview too. That CEO of Microsoft. What was he on? He was on
Brendan is another AI podcast personality. did a really good sit down with him.
Yeah, it was a good. Yeah, I remember I saw like about 30 minutes of that. It was good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of a new opportunities up here, our boy Johnny IV has now joined OpenAI via acquisition of his company IO. It says speculations point towards OpenAI's interest in leveraging Johnny IV's design expertise beyond the traditional wearable technology. It says now they have joined forces. Johnny IV will be the head of design for OpenAI. If you don't know who Johnny is, he has designed some things that we already know of, things like the Apple Watch, things like the iPhone, different versions, older versions also too of the Mac as well. And so he worked for Apple for quite some time, even at a point where Steve Jobs took a very strong liking towards him. Tell me why you work here. Sekou, thoughts?
So in the background here, I have the picture that OpenAI put on their announcement around the introducing Sam and Johnny. Sam and Johnny introduce IO, and the picture is a picture of Sam Altman with his head straight, looking into the camera in black and white, and Johnny Ivy with his hand on the shoulder, with his head tilted.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
I was just thinking, like, man, if someone gave me $53 billion, I think I'd have my head tilted on their shoulder too. Like,
It's like no, dude.
It's just a visual representation of, like, this is my friend.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is interesting. You know, there's so many conflicting things that I can pull up on how this is great for OpenAI, but it's confusing because they're not going to be a public, or they're not going to be a private company. They're going to be, what is the name of the model that they're going into, where they cannot make, like, they cannot, like, actually, like, they're not a for-profit company, is what they've decided to be. And making products like this is something that for-profit companies would do. They have the same model as REI, where every dollar that they spend needs to be spent back into just growing the business with no intention to, like, you know, make extra dollars from it. Like, it's confusing. It's confusing. Are you not going to be for profit, or are you going to be for profit? No one knows. You know, you have $53 billion to buy into making products. You know, it's interesting, but we know that there's actually going to be something coming out. We've heard that there's going to be a device that's going to be kind of like the Rabbit, or what was the other one that was out there? The Humane pen.
Yep.
But they're making a product that is on the same lines as something like that. And there was actually a conversation around Johnny IV talking about how that was like a poor, terribly designed product from his.
Talking about the Humane pen, or
he was talking about Humane and Rabbit. He was saying they're both poorly designed products, poorly marketed products. Which, like, oh, it's coming. He decided to, if he's decided to talk about them, he's giving them relevancy in some ways, so too.
Exactly.
But
yeah, let me show you how it's really done.
Yeah, exactly. Let me show you how this is done. That's what's happening.
Or
right now,
know, it's foreshadowing too.
So watch this too. Something else I don't think we ever discussed. Sam Altman invested into Humane.
He did. Yes, he did. Yeah.
You know, he invested into Humane.
So there you go.
You know, so he has an interest, you know, to see this wearable, you know, walk with you, talk with you, AI device and everything come to life. You know, and so then you acquire the company, you acquire, work for hire acquisition, if you will, with Johnny IV and everything. And so now I think we're definitely going to see a world where it's going to be some type of wearable device, some type of standalone, project and everything.
Did they say?
Now,
Did they say it's not going to be a phone? Did they
They
already
don't
say
know.
it's not going to be a phone?
It's stealth.
Okay.
Whatever it is,
They
it's
haven't
stealth. Yeah. It's funny in they have like a little video that they put together where they are sitting in a bar talking about the acquisition, and it's just so vague. It's so vague. There's a lot of energy being put into a visual representation of them about to do something big with not just really no details to like build off of here other than, hey, this person's made something interesting in the past, right? But hasn't made anything interesting for a very long time, right?
It's been a minute.
Well, at least not to the everyday consumer.
Yeah.
He's been designing things in other parts of the landscape. So we'll see.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I feel like this is the job that a certain problematic rapper said that he wanted 5-6 years ago. But he was asking Disney, Sony, everyone, just give me money so that I can just come up with ideas. Why won't you do it? Why won't you just get like I believe he called himself, Da Vinci, and a bunch of other things at the same time. But this is the job that is like every creative wants this job. That's just a creative. This is just a creative. This is the most sought after job, and it's worth failing the green line test in that picture. I don't know if you guys remember the green line test. You guys remember that?
No, tell us about the green line test.
The green line test is a thing that came out. This could have originated in some, I don't even know where it came from, but Newsweek had an article about it like years ago. And it was about how you take pictures with other people, typically your partner. And the person, whether or not you lean in and make like a green line or something like that. I forgot the specifics of it, but there's a green line analysis, I'm sure somewhere about that promo photo you're mentioning, for sure.
I'm still a little just dumbfounded that you would pay $6.5 billion for a concept of a plan.
Yeah.
For a concept, that's what a creative does. They provide a concept of something that will get created. It's not like we have pre-built thing what we've tested and validated. I have concepts for $6.5 billion.
I think exact that part. When you're open AI, and then when you're Johnny IV, is like there's probably like once in a world type of where that can happen, to as well.
Remember Elf, where they flew in who did they fly in? They flew in the guy from Game of Thrones to write. He was like the man when it comes to writing stories or whatnot.
Oh, George R. Martin?
No, it was who was that? He played in Game of Thrones. He was in The Station Agent. What's his name? Peter Dinklage.
Oh, Peter Dinklage. Yes.
So yeah. So that scene in Elf where they flew him in, and he was like the guy who writes the stories, and like he just getting paid big money to just come in there, what I mean, knock out a plan and leave. Get that check and leave. Like it reminds me of that. Like he has that cachet, that level of almost unreal, fictional cachet, that in order to get a position like that. But at the end, I think what he's going to come out with is something that's I hope he doesn't take my idea, dude. I hope it's not. I hope he doesn't take it.
Which is,
remember the minimalist phone? Remember that where it was just come on now. You know holds water. You know holds water, man. You know that. There's no interface. It's just the chat. It's bare bones, distraction free. Just the voice. I think that's what it's going to be.
Think so? Not glasses or
maybe.
Actually, you know what? The phone. I think the phone has more. Not as a person who wears glasses, not by choice.
Same.
You know, there's still a large part of the population that will only wear glasses outside, right? As opposed to wearing glasses inside the house or inside of a room or something like that. So having another device that works in between that you can just have on you all the time still is more attractive than glasses, technically, in my opinion.
So
one of you said the earring. One of you in one of these past episodes brought up the earring as a possibility, something that is just like an earring that you wear that's in your ear or something like that. That's kind of stylish, but it is the onboard kind of thing where you just tap it and then.
All right, so here
interact
with voice.
So let's lock it in. So Adrian, you're saying a phone. Sekou, what's your vote?
Actually, I want is it the seed from Black Mirror?
The seed.
Was it? No, it wasn't that. That was the whole brain implant, right? I hope it's not the brain implant.
I think it was a brain implant where you get to scroll back in your memories and shit.
Yeah.
No, I think I'll go for that one. I'll go for the most extreme version of this.
So that's your vote of what he's going to make first?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go the safe bet and say it's going to be like a humane type of device where you'll pin it on you, multi-model, can talk, everything. I say it's going to be that, but then I also say he's still going to use his Apple connections to make sure that it's immediately integrated within the iPhone too as well.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to bring that right up to you. I'm glad you mentioned it because you're the one. You were like, Apple, you could do this and do it right. And if OpenAI comes out with the human, would you be disappointed in that? Would you how would you feel about that if they do it?
No, I would love it. Because I mean, Johnny would he will be at the freedom of creativity, where he can just design, build, put together. And then also too, Apple would be, I would argue, I look at it like this. In this type of area with AI, I would argue right now that Apple, if not more, is just as hungry, desirable, need this, just as they needed an OS after Steve Jobs left and when he created what's that fucking platform? When Steve Jobs his company got acquired by Apple and he went back to Apple, became CEO again. Next. When he created Next, was it Next?
Next.
So remember Steve Jobs said he created Next. The hardware was very, very expensive, but he created the OS because he knew Apple needed an OS. And I'm not saying this to say that Apple's going to acquire OpenAI. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that partnership is just as needed in this area of AI, just as Apple needed an OS back then.
Well, I just remembered the name of the structure that OpenAI moved into, which is a public benefit corporation, which is the same thing that I think it's REI that also is a public benefit corporation, which means that from
Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Sorry, yeah. Good.
What
is REI?
REI. The what's it called? The Sports Center Recreation. You guys don't have REI out there? Is that just a California thing? No, REI is not a California thing.
Oh, we got this.
You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm like, wait a second here. But the structure of this company means that they're not driving to just, you know, make a whole bunch of money. Whatever they have to do is to be in service of the benefit of the public, and their money has to be spent in that. And I'm not sure how a humane pen looking thing is for the benefit of the public. I don't see how I don't see how them creating a product is going to work here. I feel like they're going to put themselves in trouble. That is my bet, that none of these things happen, and this will actually end up being scrutinized because of their this mission that they decided to, this conversion from for profit, because there's different tax that they fall tax brackets that they kind of like get, not brackets, but taxing that they get subject to based off of this.
I look at this the same way I look at if OpenAI being named OpenAI when only one of their models is open. They're gonna figure out a way around it. They're gonna figure a way around it, and everything and stuff, and they're gonna keep building. And so I don't see this at all becoming a stoppage or anything and stuff with it. I mean, it's not in the benefit of your everyday consumer to also have a $200 monthly model, either. That's not in the benefit of your, that's a very expensive service, and stuff. So, yeah.
Also, when they gave everything away for free, now I'm a little salty about that.
Mm-hmm.
This is why they do both and everything. So you got a free one and then you got the expensive one, and so whatever they build, they could go the Apple route where they build the Pro one and the SC one. And the SC one is in the benefit of your everyday consumer, because that's the cheaper, plastic one version that still has certain capabilities, but the Pro one, is the $1,000 whatever it may be, interface that has all the full aspect stuff of it. And so you swing it that way of like this is still in the benefit of that. I think they're gonna figure that out. That is not like
so a lot of smart people over there, so we'll see.
They're not short of that.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right. Well, fellas, another great episode. Another great episode. And stuff here, man. We've finally got to talk to our boy Johnny IV and everything. Been waiting for that to see what's going to happen and stuff there. I was done talking about Rabbit. Anyway, got to express our thoughts and apologies, around Replit, not to Replit, but around Replit. Let's make that clear.
Make that clear.
Right, make it clear. We got a new generation of AI models coming out, along with Google Ultra's AI monthly subscription, and then Microsoft making VS Code open source and stuff here, man. Adrian, man, give us some final words over here, Sekou and everything, and then we'll close it out.
Everyone, it's been a pleasure. I hope you learned something today. I'm looking forward to talking to you next time. You can find me on social, Adrian_Poupon on Twitter or X, and Instagram. And hit up our Discord. Ask any questions. We're up there about and ready. Send it to you, Sekou.
Yeah.
Sekou.
And for folks who want to follow me, I'm Sekou the Wise on all platforms. Definitely enjoyed this show, and also, we want to be your trusted ear on these different topics, and or your trusted voice on these topics. And come to our Discord, have a discussion. There's something that you think you disagree with, or you can see that in our opening that we are quick to correct if we see that we've said something that wasn't that we didn't think was right, or that we want to clear the air on. But yeah, come engage with us.
I want to issue a direct open invite to the CEO of Replit. If you want to join and talk about what you've spoken of, you're open to do so. Everything we love to have.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And stuff with you. I will not back away from my words or anything, but I will have a respectful conversation and challenge you on set discussion of what you said, in a very technical, high level integration and stuff way and everything. So the invite is there. You have 24 hours to respond. Not playing. Guys, I am Raw Labor on all platforms. You can also find AI with Friends podcast on all platforms, too as well. And like the fellow said too as well, join the Discord. And until next time, we are out.
All right.
Peace.